Hey, Scrapper Names fans, welcome back to another 12 by 12 layout for you today of this gorgeous little monkey that is my baby youngest niece. There will be a few videos if I can continue filming of her because I am in the middle of trying to bust out her album and get it happening and given to her, being that she's already turned 1. Alright, so today I have a piece of Kaiser Craft, just plain white cardstock. There's no gesso, there's nothing on it. I wasn't intending on putting anything liquidy on it. What I've done here is I've got a lighter kind of blue gelato, which is kind of, anyone that doesn't know what they were a big thing. They are like a crayon for crafting, I guess. You can water them down and make them like a watercolor. You can do what I just did. I'm sure you could probably just use them on their own. But I've mixed it with some Vicky Booten texture paste. Love this texture paste. It's small and expensive. And am just smushing it through a macaroon, is what it is, stencil across my cardstock. So just using a plastic palette knife and just smushing it through as best as possible. As you can see, it goes pretty quick. I don't make you sit through me doing the entire page because there are, as you can see, a few goes where I have to go back and forth and remix it. I wasn't worried about any subtle colour change. If I mixed too much blue or too much white and made it paler, it didn't bother me. Now the colours for this, I feel there might have been blue in her outfit, maybe, can't remember. But I kind of, again, deviated from, there wasn't a lot of colour in, I think, from memory in her, in the picture. So I kind of just went with my own, whatever I wanted, to be honest. It was a very freeing, kind of scrappy session I had when I did these videos. But yeah, as you can see, just going through, smushing it through. I do give you a chance to have a look. Now, in drying it, I do use my heat tool, but I do also put it aside whilst, and I do this a lot with texture paste, I let it try and dry a little bit more air dry, because I find that it's sort of, I think you're supposed to be honest, but I'm impatient. So as you can see, it was nearly dry, so just finishing it off so I could get the layout done. And what I do while I wait for it to dry is play around with, like you can see here, and I do leave this in, all the bits and pieces I want for my layout. So layering, and I think with this one I even went as far as like cutting embellishments and things like that and pulling them apart. So I knew what I wanted to do, and I could literally just stick them on the page once it was completely dry. Now, my bad habit is not waiting for the texture paste to be completely dry and leaving it a bit tacky and then ruining it. So I made sure I kept my hands busy while I finished off letting it dry. So as you can see, I did put it aside again while I play around here. I did dry it a bit, and then, as I said, I let it air dry, and I go back and forth a little bit just to get it, finished off without it taking hours and hours and hours. Now, I apologise, but I'm doing this voiceover whilst we are in the midst of a hectic storm. We had a beautiful day, and then it's just come over, pelting down rain. I literally just jumped a mile with a crack of thunder. So it's lots of fun, but I'm not sure if the mic will pick up the grumbling noises and the cracks of the thunder and the rain. So it's great weather. I don't know about anyone else, but yep, we've had a couple of dry days over the weekend, and yeah, who knows? We're supposed to be in for storms all afternoon, so that should be fun. The lights keep flickering, so that's making it a little bit spooky, but yeah. Anyway, lots of fun. All right, so playing around with my layering here, and these are some, I think they're previous Inky Quill Patreon printables. So when Adele does her printables, she always has these background pieces, and once upon a time I was just printing them really small, but I wasn't using them. So now I print them in the A4 size like this, and it's great to use as a background, which I think the video before this one, that's exactly what I did with one of the newer printables. So yeah, they're really handy that way. because her mixed media techniques are far, far superior to mine. All right, so I did put some pattern tissue paper as well, as you saw, just to add white to the background, but I wanted to add white with a bit of fun because it had writing all over it, and it also adds that soft textury type to the background as well. Just to add more texture, why not? And the tissue paper I used actually came in packaging for stationery order, and I can't think of the shop. Was it Washi Tape? No, I don't think it was Washi Tape Australia. I don't know, but it's an Aussie shop, and I kept it because I thought it looked really funky. Sorry, mind blank for a minute there. Watching the storm outside. So these are some more inky printables. Sorry, running off tangenty today. It's Monday already, and I'm just not feeling it. Certainly feeling a lot better than what I was last week. But anyway, inky printable yet again, a nice big wordy phrase, which I probably should have measured this out properly, because I ended up sticking the pictures down, as you will see, and made an error in judgment, and it nearly didn't make it to the page because I couldn't quite get it to fit the way I wanted to, but I did manage to get it to fit eventually. So that was good. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm going through everything. Okay, so I did keep this in so you could see a bit of my process. So as you can see here, these are new inky printables. These ones are not. I have them all kept. Actually, any printables that aren't part of my Kitaholic kit go into this binder here. And that way then, as you can see, I can flick through, roughly know what's in each month because I've gone back and forth, used them left, right and centre. They're probably not even in the right monthly order, to be truthful. So I knew the ideas for colour in my head as to what I wanted to do, and how I wanted to make the page look as such, kind of. So I'm just pulling out all the bits and pieces. Similar to, the last one was a flower. I see, mind blank. So part of my major big thing with this layout was I didn't want a florally one. So I went with the round macaroon shapes for the texture paste background. And as you can see here, I've pulled out things that have got hearts and circles and tags and stars and, bits and pieces like that, because a lot of the album is florally. She's a spring baby. Her name is Goddess of Spring and those sorts of rainbows and things like that. So, I was sort of on that path when I was doing her album, started her album. So, I wanted a couple of pages. I wanted to make sure the pages were broken up. So this one, which seems really odd because I felt like I could not find any embellishments that were not florals. I think I get a lot of florals in my kit each month, and that's probably why. But yes, so I tried to steer clear of having like full floral. So I think the video before this one that I uploaded last night was a full explosion of spring, bright summer, or bright flowery sort of goodness. So that's just me. Some people might like that continuity of the same kind of embellishments as such, or like theme of embellishments, but I wanted something a little bit different if I could do it. And I don't actually think there is even a hint of a floral on this, and yet her bodysuit onesie thing that she's wearing has flowers on it, so pretty certainly floral. So but I wanted something different. All right, now you can big thunder, sorry. As you can see there, I did not measure that out very well. So with the printables, there was also smaller ones. I could have cut and used a smaller piece with the same phrase on it, but I didn't measure it out properly, and I'd already cut this one, and I was just like, I'm going to make this work. I was being stubborn, because why not? So as you can see here, I managed to get it on the photo without overrunning the photo of her close up. So on the right, would that be? Yeah. Which was the initial issue I had. I did pop it up on some craft foam because I popped the two photos up on craft foam as well, so I needed to obviously make those a bit balanced. But yeah, it worked. I like it. I think it looks really, really nice. And now I'm just going to go through, and as you can see, I am fiddling around with embellishment placement, tags. This beautiful tag. I love these tags. I have to print some more because I think I've nearly used them all. Now this tag overhangs, and I'm a bit of I like things in their box at times. And so for this, for example, in my scrappy projects, I'm not always great at letting things hang on the edge and trimming them. I'm trying to get better at it because I actually don't mind the look that it gives. So like here, this tag, and then I looked at it and thought, oh, that doesn't look right, but it looks good. I'm happy with it, but I'm a little bit OCD. Why not? All right, so just playing around, as I said, with some placements, some stars and hearts. This tag doesn't make the cut. It doesn't fit on the page the way I thought it might, so it goes. And then and as you can see, using wet glue only. Because of the texture paste background, it is thick paste. Adhesive just wouldn't cut it. I think it had just come off, even though the texture paste is potentially still a little bit tacky and might adhere things. I don't think it would hold long term. So just playing around with what else I wanted to add. Added some yellow just to add a bit more colour, bit bright. Because it is a pretty bright and happy photo too. She's a very happy little girl. Mind you, she's like 12 months old or more now, whereas these photos were taken last year just after she was born. But she's a very happy and bright little girl. So I think bright, nice, colourful pages are, well, for any baby, but yeah, for our beautiful little Iris. All right, just having a look. I even pulled in the Cocoa Vanilla latest boy collection. I can't think of what it is. The name of it, sorry, but just to mix it up, but they didn't really have anything that went with the colour pattern I was already using. It was all very much browns and darker blues and things like that, so I left it. Now going through some tiny word sheets that I've got lying around on my desk. Some of these are inky printable previously, some are Kitaholics ones as well. But they just sit in a container to the back of my desk because I don't really have a spot for them. And, oh no, I think my drawers that I have where they sit, where the words and phrases sit, is kind of overflowing. Might need to use more words or stop printing so many words. All right, so just making a little cluster there. Made a little cluster down the bottom, as you can see, with the heart, the star, and the little circle. And now I am just playing around with the title, just putting on, as you can see, I did use these little silver thickers. I sort of regret doing that now, but then they looked good in the end because I thought they sort of melded into the blue background too much, but I think they pop out a little bit, which is good. All right, just popping those away. One thing with those stickers that really bugged me was that the sticky backing, not that it mattered because I was using glue anyway, but it kept coming off, like they were really, really well adhered to the backing paper. So that was fun. That was good. All right, just adding some more final touches. And this I'm going to use to put a date on. I'm going to use my date stamp. And I actually stuffed that up in the end. Okay guys, sorry, I am back. And I can't remember where quite was up to, but by the looks of it, finishing the touches to this layout. I'd added all my embellishments, and now I'm just going through, and I've decided it needed some sprinkly bits. I had thought of some gold like glitter drops, not Heidi Swap Colour Shine because that doesn't exist anymore, but there wasn't enough real estate on the layout to put that on, so now I'm just going through, and I think these are some Chamel older little enamel dots, some hearts and some stars, sticking with my shapes, and I think maybe some circles are on there as well, and just doing some clusters of 3 around my embellishment clusters on the layout itself. As you can see, they did have heat adhesive on them, but as I said before, because of the texture paste and the fact that they are an older style, or been in my stash for a little while, I wasn't quite trusting that the adhesive would stay stuck to the layout, and the last thing I want is for the book to be open to look at and bits and pieces falling off everywhere. I have had that happen, and it drives me bonkers. Usually it's thickers that does it, that don't stick very well. I don't know about anyone else, but I always find that because thickers are always the bane of my existence. I did a layout on the couch a few nights back, and I had done this really big title in thickers, and it, as I picked it up to put it away, all of the thickers fell off, so I was not very happy. I had to put some glue on it. But as you can see, it is all done. Some up closes there. You can see all the little clusters. There are some close-ups coming in the end here, as you can see. Now, I appreciate it if you've taken the time to watch this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop me a comment if you have any questions or if there's anything you want to see in my videos. I am trying to get back to filming. I do have one more filmed ready to be edited and voiceovered as well, and then hopefully get back into my craft room on the weekend. But happy scrappy peeps, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.